Thank you, Chair. My name is Danyas Flavia, researcher.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Chair of Grace, with the technical team and finance. Thank you, Chair. Good morning to everyone. My name is Rachel.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, that is the team of members of Parliament and the technical team from Parliament. Over to you to take us through the ministry team.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and colleagues. My name is Henry Musas, the Minister of State for General Duties at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Can I ask PS and the team to introduce themselves?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Distinguished members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My names are Major General David Kasura Chomkama. I'm the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries. I bring apologies for my political leaders. All of them are out of the country. They are out of the station. So I am here. I'm not representing them, but I bring their apologies. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Juvenal Muhumuza. I work as the Commissioner for Development Assistance at the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members of the committee. My name is Peter Baine. I work for NAGRIC as Executive Director.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and honorable members. My name is Maurice Ekwang. I'm an Assistant Commissioner for Policy Analysis, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members, Honorable Minister, and my peers. My name is Dr. Kapungulu James, Assistant Commissioner in charge of veterinary regulations and enforcement. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable Minister, and honorable members. My name is Collins Amanya. I'm an Assistant Commissioner Planning in Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries.
Good morning, Honorable Minister, Chair, and honorable members and the colleagues. My name is Dr. Semakula Jimmy. I work with NARO, and I'm a senior researcher.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, colleagues, honorable members of Parliament. Allow me thank all of you for taking off your time to be with us, members from the various ministries. Honorable members, yesterday on the 3rd day of September, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development laid a number of loans before Parliament, and these loans were referred to the Committee on National Economy in line with our rules of procedure. As a committee and with the agency of this particular loan, out of the 3 loans that were laid yesterday, we realized that there is one loan which is more urgent. That loan was accompanied with a letter that was written to Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, dated 13th of August, indicating that there will be an automatic cancellation of this loan if Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development will have not signed the financing agreement for this particular loan. So as a committee, we, being that this loan is within our mandate to scrutinize it, we wouldn't want the country to lose out in this kind of funding. We've therefore decided in a short notice to invite Ministry of Finance together with Ministry of Agriculture that is implementing the facility, the loan facility, to appear before this committee to officially lay the loan. So, honorable members, you'll bear with us that much as we are required to have the 45 days for us to lay whatever loan requests to Parliament, our reports to Parliament, this particular loan will require us to burn candles even in the night to make sure that at least we pass this loan. We present it to the House. So this morning, the Minister is officially going to present this loan before the committee, and thereafter, we shall be in position as a committee to scrutinize the loans, its terms and conditions embedded in it, and also raise a number of issues that we are seeing that probably we need clarification from both ministries, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. We know that there are also a number of loans that are within the sector, the agricultural sector, that are not performing well, and I hope that even if we are rushing to pass these loans, I want to believe that maybe the ministry should be in position also to tell us how they will be in position to implement this loan in line with other loans that are still lagging behind. We're trying to look at what was laid yesterday before the House, the performance of loans and grants as at December 2024. And we realize that Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries also has a number of facilities that are not performing well. So the PS and the technical team, together with Ministry of Finance that is procuring these loan facilities, should be in position to help us explain, is the problem with Ministry of Finance, is the problem with the implementing ministry. So, honorable members, I really wouldn't want to take off a lot of time in my communication. I would therefore want us to move ahead with our agenda and see if there's anything that members would want to react in my communication. I would therefore want to invite you. Thank you. And if there is none, I would therefore invite the minister to officially present the loan before the committee. I would want to say that silence implies that there is nothing members would want to react into my communication. Honorable Minister, I therefore invite you to present on a brief on the proposal by government to borrow, up to US dollars 99.56 million from the International Fund for Agricultural Development to finance the proposed Resilience Livestock Value Chain Project. I therefore invite you, Honorable Minister, to present and lay the documents before the Committee on National Economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I need your guidance on whether I should first make my statement, then thereafter I lay the documents, or whether I should do it the other way around.
Honorable Minister, I think in the interest of time, you'd first go through the brief and then you lay the documents after the brief.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, yesterday in the House, I laid a proposal to borrow up to US dollars 99.56 million from the International Fund for Agricultural Development to finance the proposed Resilience Livestock Value Chain Project. and subsequent to that, today I am here to formally lay the same proposal to the committee for your consideration. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for finding time out of short notice to consider this proposal, considering the fact that we have limited days for, if not passed, then we consider the loan as cancelled. But I'm sure, given the assurances you have given us, I'm sure we will move and be able to catch up with the timelines. I now, Chair, come to the background. Chair and colleagues, the macroeconomic strategy for the country is underpinned by the objective of growing the economy by double digits, maintaining macroeconomic stability, employment creation, the need to raise resources to address the critical infrastructure deficit and social expenditures, and competitively position Uganda to fully benefit from regional, continental, and the global markets. Uganda's Vision 2040 and the National Development Plan, the National Development Plan 4, Strategy and the NRM Manifesto 2021-2026 recognizes agriculture as being the central to the country's economic growth. NDP 3 and 4, which aim to increase household incomes and improve quality of life of Ugandans, present the agro-industrialization program as one of the key programs to deliver this goal. The agriculture sector contributed 24.7% in financial year 23-24 of the national GDP and continues to employ approximately 70% of Uganda's population directly and indirectly. In absolute terms, the contribution of agriculture's total GDP increased from 35,360 billion in financial year 2020-2021 to Uganda shillings 50,010 billion in financial year 2023-24. This is a sizable portion of Uganda's population that is vulnerable to poverty. 44%, about 44% are considered vulnerable and susceptible to falling into poverty because of climate and other shocks. Raw agricultural productivity is a major driver of poverty and is exacerbated by poor choice of agricultural value chains, severe climate shocks, and rapid natural resource degradation affecting incomes of agricultural households. To reverse the poverty and low agricultural productivity trajectory, investments such as access to quality livestock breeding materials, research and development of livestock technologies, increased water for agricultural production, enhanced farm infrastructures and structures, storage, market access for livestock, and livestock produce, among others, are required to enhance sustainable agriculture. Honorable Chair and colleagues, we will recall that H.E. the President, through his letter, which is annexed as Annex 2, directed my ministry to solicit for resources finance implementation of Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries policy proposals for development of the agricultural sector. The proposed policy interventions include production, multiplication, distribution and certification of seeds and stocking materials B, disease control. C, agricultural mechanization and irrigation. D, farmer education and mobilization. E, research enhancement and partnership with the large landowners. The resilient livestock chain project is designed to support the implementation of the above policy proposals, as well as other national development frameworks, such as the National Development Plan 4, NRM Manifesto 2021-26, and subsequently 2026-31, Agriculture Sector Strategic Development Plan, among others. Relatedly, MAIF developed the Agricultural Value Chain Development Strategy, which clearly gives an insight of the interventions and investments that need to be undertaken both on small and large scale to unlock the bottlenecks in the various agricultural value chains. The same was presented and approved by Cabinet. The proposed resilient livestock value chain project is therefore aligned to His Excellency the President's directive and the value chain development strategy, and will support investments in areas that will unlock bottlenecks across the various stages of the livestock value chain, including post-harvest handling, storage, agro-processing, and value addition. The project will support large and small-scale farmers and create synergies with the parish development model. The proposed project will augment the ongoing investments within the agriculture sector and will create synergies with ongoing projects in the sector. What are the objectives of this brief? Mr. Chair and colleagues, the objective of the brief is to, 1, seek approval of the loan amounting to US $99.56 million from IFAD to finance the proposed livestock value chain project. This is the overall objective. The project goal and development objective. The goal of the project is to contribute to improve the livelihoods of smallholder livestock farmers in Uganda. The project development objective is to enhance income, nutrition, and resilience of smallholder dairy and beef producers. The project components are the following: the scope and the components. The project will focus in 51 selected districts in the cattle corridor of the country, and the names of districts where the project will be implemented is attached as Annex 1. The districts were selected based on the following: 1, high incidence and density of poverty, food insecurity, and malnutrition. 2, hard size by the households and potential for dairy and meat value chain development, including markets for animal source products. 3, high potential for women and youth to get involved in dairy and beef value chain. 4, climate vulnerability. In addition, the selection was based on subnational priorities and potential complementarities with ongoing development initiatives in dairy and cattle industry. Mr. Chair, we describe the project components in the next page, and in the interest of time, I don't know whether, Mr. Chairman, I should go through, or I invite members to refer to component 1, which is increasing productivity and resilience and reducing the impact of climate change on production. And here we break down what we want to do there. Under component 2 is enhancing access to markets for smallholder farmers. We break down the activities to do and the amounts of money spent there. We have the third component, which is on policy support and coordination. And also, we are saying that the component will support policy development, project management, coordination, and monitoring and evaluation. And it will take $80 million US. The project will benefit us in the following, through the following outcomes. One, increased productivity, value addition, resilience, and reduce climate impact on smallholder beef and dairy production systems. Enhanced access to markets and value addition for smallholder producers and access to finance. And three, strengthened policy and regulatory environment. The project beneficiaries. The project will directly benefit 400,000 households with 2 million beneficiaries and 20 million beneficiaries indirectly through. The 2 million are direct beneficiaries, the 20 million are indirect benefiting through the different components, and will have minimum target of 40% women and 25% of youth. The implementation arrangements, colleagues, MAIF will be the lead implementing agency and will establish a project steering committee composed of representatives from relevant ministries, departments, and agencies, and the private sector organizations. That will provide overall strategic direction and ensure coordination among sectors. This will include, among others, Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Ministry of Local Government, Uganda Meat Producers Cooperative Union, National Environmental Management Authority, Ministry of Finance, and PSC will be responsible for, among others, reviewing and approving draft annual work plans and budgets.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Under A and B and C attracts tentative interest rate of 5.35% at the rate of IFAD board approval September 2024, IFAD market reference rate of 4.4% plus variable spread of 0.94% plus maturity premium of 0.05%. And the service charge under A is 0.1% per annum, and under B is 0.75% per annum, and under road C, not applicable. The conditions precedent to loan effectiveness, the loan financing has the, Mr. Chairman, I want to believe you are well versed with these conditions. In the interest of time, I can go to the next. 4.7 is the current debt situation. As at end of June 2024, the total public debt stock stood at US $25.55 billion, increasing from US $23.67 billion as at the end of June 2023. Of the total public debt stock, external debt constituted US $14.59 billion and domestic debt stood at $10.96 billion. The table below will show you the details of our debt stock as I have highlighted above, and most important is that at the end of June 2024, our debt to GDP ratio was 46.86%, a decline from 47.40 in the previous period. Mr. Chair, in conclusion, I will request the committee to, 1, note the need to acquire the financing for the Mr. Chair, I know there will be questions about the districts which are not here, but I am also getting a note that the districts have now increased to 55, and the districts left out, which are not in the Annex 1, is Kumi, is Kabale, is Kasese, and Namutumba districts. Mr. Chair, I request the committee to note the need to acquire financing for implementation of the proposed project, and 2, I request the committee to recommend to the House to authorize the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to proceed and borrow up to US $99.56 million from the International Fund for Agriculture Development to finance the proposed Resilience Livestock Value Chain project in line with Article 159 of the Constitution and Section 34 of the Public Finance Management Act. Mr. Chair, I want to conclude my submission by laying the accompanying documents in line with the rules of procedure of Parliament. So, can I ask my officer to help me. Muhumuza, you can go ahead and. Are you well versed with the rules? Or I go ahead? But you do it. You need to learn how these things are
You
done.
just want to read the documents which you've prepared to
Yes.
submit. Yes.
Read the heading, document this.
Thank you, Chair. Through my minister, I would wish to read out the list of documents that we've prepared for submission to this committee. The first one is the Socio-Economic Impact Assessment Report. The second one is the Performance Report. Oh, thank you.
Aziza, someone help in sorting out the file. You call a document, Aziza gives it to you, and you beg to lay.
Okay.
And then lay.
Social impact assessment. It's 1 and 10. Chair, through my minister, the document I'm laying on the table is a combination of the socio-economic impact assessment report together with the environmental and impact assessment report. The second document I'm laying is a performance report for all the projects being implemented by the sector. But I'm also informed that there's additional information on this particular case to be provided by the sector, by the ministry, which will also be provided to this committee. The third document is evidence of consistency with the National Development Plan and the sector strategy. Is a letter from the National Planning Authority. The fourth document is the evidence of availability of counterpart funds in the budget. Yes, the next document that I'm laying on the table is a project appraisal document. It's a combination of several documents. 5, 6. The procurement plan, and then the project implementation plan. Yes, it's part of the document. This one is project implementation plan. Chair, the next document I'm laying on the table is a project implementation plan. The next document I'm laying on the table is clearance from His Excellency the President of the project. It's dated 8th May 2024. I'm also attaching a copy of the financing agreement for this project. Okay. I'm also laying on the table the pre-feasibility study for the project. I'm also laying on the table the clearance by the Office of the Prime Minister for this project. And a detailed brief, which my minister has already presented to you.
Mr. Chairman, with this, I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting. While you were presenting, I saw some members of Parliament entered in. Can I allow them to introduce themselves to the team of our witnesses? Honorable Nandutu, can you introduce yourself? You're not part of the team. You've just come.
On the side of the witness team, but I'm called Agnes Nandutu. I am a woman member of Parliament from Buda District and former Minister, State Minister for Karamoja Affairs. You're welcome to this committee.
Thank you. Honorable Alex.
Alex, Sinjiro House.
Thank you. I think those are the members that joined us. Honorable members, the Minister has officially presented a brief to the committee, and has also laid all the necessary documents that we need as a committee to process this loan facility, to finance the livestock resilience value chain project. And maybe I had, when the minister was presenting, there was an additional information that was supposed to be provided by the ministry. Can we also receive that information from the Ministry of Agriculture?
Thank you, Chair. Through Honorable Minister and PS. The additional information was also given in soft copy on the summary of the loans that under the agro-industrialization program. I lay it on the table as per the procedure, but the soft copy is also with the clerk, and he can confirm that. I thank you.
Can we have that copy passed over to the clerk? I believe that is in line with the performance of projects under the sector. Yeah, because the minister gave a general performance of all loans, I think, the report that we received from the Ministry of Finance. Honorable members, I think like I said, we have received all the documents that we require to process this loan facility. And the minister has taken us through the brief. He has given us, like I communicated earlier, honorable members, that we have a letter, though this letter is not part, I think it's part of the documents that was written on the 30th of August by the regional director, informing us about the urgency and as to whether if Uganda is still interested in this loan facility, the loan must be signed before the close of 12th. Otherwise, the loan will be automatically cancelled by IFAD. So, honorable members, now the ball is in our court as members of Parliament, designated to this committee to scrutinize the terms and conditions of the loan. And I know that it is at short notice. And we have not had the time to look at these documents critically. But while we came here, a few of us looked at some of these documents. We looked at the financing agreement and were able to identify a few issues. And one of the issues is, I think it was addressed, the ministry addressed it, but that is in line with the letter from NPA that had directed that the Ministry of Finance together with the Agriculture incorporates some districts. And I think that has been handled. But on the other side also is we looked at the loan tenure for Loan C, which is about the brief and the financing agreement speak to different periods, and maybe the Ministry of Finance should be in position to clarify which one should we go by. While the loan brief is talking about 35 years, the financing agreement is talking about 29 years, including a grace period of 10 years, inclusive of a grace period. So maybe the ministry should be in position to clarify on that.
Mumza, can you clarify that immediately?
Look at the financing agreement. The financing agreement that was laid on page 2. Of the financing agreement. Yeah, in the financing agreement, it's. Should I read it verbatim or you want to see it? As finance is still looking at that, we have always had a challenge where the Auditor General has cited that Parliament passes most of these loans without looking at the unit costs, and the unit costs are really biting to the taxpayers. So, as a committee, we would also be interested in finding out what are the unit costs, because we need to share this out so that we are not pinned as though Parliament is passing loans without looking at the unit cost for many of these components. So we'd also request that maybe the ministry provides us with the details or the costed activities as per listed in the components in 4.221, the detailed description, component, and costs provided. Because we have just seen a lump sum of component by component.
Chair, I wish to confirm that what we have in our brief is an anomaly. Loan C will be available for a total period of 29 years, as indicated in the loan agreement. So this needs to be corrected.
So, Clerk, you take note of that so that we have that change from 35 to 29 years. I would also want to request the Ministry of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries, particularly to speak, now that the PS is here, to speak into, we have a number of loan facilities that are before the Agriculture Ministry, and they seem not to be performing. One of them is the irrigation for climate resilience. It became effective in December 2020. The disbursement is only 21%, and the loan is closing by April 2026. So it's like we are left with about 4 or 5 months, about 7 months to the closure of that loan, and yet the disbursement is only at 21%. We also have the NOSIP loan that is as at December 2024. The NOSIP loan became effective in July 2021. But the disbursement by IFAD is only 19%, and OPEC is 4%. And much as the loan is closing by 2029, but we believe that in 4 years we have only had that disbursement of 19 and 4%. And then we also have the grants. We have some grants. COCODEV is became effective became effective in March 2022, but the disbursement is only 38%, and it's due to close by September 2027. We also have PESCA, became effective in January 2017. Disbursement is at 53%, and the closure is in January 2026. And then we have MOBIP, became effective in January 2017. Disbursement is 75%, and it has already expired. It expired by April 2025. Maybe the ministry should also be in position to give us guidance in that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Through the Honorable Minister of Finance, I will start with the last two. MOBIP is no longer a project in the Ministry of Agriculture. It was closed. The project is offline. It's no longer our project. It was actually closed, and I think we have even given closure accounts, all the closure procedures. Same with PESCA. These are no longer projects there. They are not there.
Of course, our interest as a committee is at what rate did it close? Did it close at 100%?
No, actually, for some of them, we made the determination that since they were occupying our fiscal space and they were not responsive to the needs of the people, we were better off if these projects were closed. In the case of MOBIP, yes, MOBIP performed. I'm surprised that they seem to think that it did not perform. It's performed, and through it, we have slaughter facilities, we have dams, we have very many. Maybe we need to publicize this a bit more. But for PESCA, we also had a lot of landing sites, I think, but it also had some problems, so we closed it. It was a closed. Now, COCODEV was affected by, it was being run in the former UCDA, but when we took over UCDA, I can report to you, Chair, that COCODEV is now up and running. It's actually, we are dispersed. It is for the purpose of dispersing loans to coffee farmers for irrigation and seedlings and fertilizers. It is now up and running. NOSP, this is National Oil Seeds Project. They say they opened the project in July, but that's not entirely true. The first money we received on this project was, I think, in 2023. And it has been affected by the speed of our procurement processes, by the speed at which we get counterpart funding for certain provisions, and by speed, really, of some processes which are outside the control of the ministry. However, sir, we have resolved most of these issues, and we hope that the performance is going to improve. One of them, I can give you, for example, a big part of this project was to procure tractors. Now, I did not know, sir, that the procurement of tractors in Uganda is one of the most sensitive things. There are about 15 companies which each put administrative review for procurement. And yes, tractors, very simple thing, but everybody here, not here, but I mean everybody in this country puts administrative review, takes months. Others complain to the funders, others complain all over the place. But we have resolved these issues, and I can assure you, it's a huge chunk of capital expenditure. Now, ICRP is not a loan for Ministry of Agriculture. Again, I'm surprised that people seem to be jumping responsibility. This is a loan for Ministry of Water. ICRP is Irrigation for Climate Resilience project. It is primarily run by the Ministry of Water, the Ministry of Agriculture has a small component where we are supposed to hire consultants to do extension. That is our basic. And my basic disagreement there, Chair, and I plead guilty, is that in a country where you have a situation where you have low capacity for, the low government capacity for extension, it's not a good idea to hire consultants to do extension. It's not a very good idea, because what will happen is even those extension workers who are working in government will leave to go and work for the consultant. And eventually, the whole system of consultants, we are negotiating, we've been negotiating with the World Bank very robustly, I can tell you this, to have some of these things changed in there. But ICRP is not a Ministry of Agriculture project. I don't know why. I wish my colleagues from Ministry of Water were here, because they always seem to push this thing and say it is Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you, sir.
Which means, PS, which means it's the Ministry of Finance that should correct its reporting, because we just received this report yesterday, the report on public debt, grants, guarantees, and other financial liabilities for the financial year 2024-2025. And it's indicated here the implementing agency for that particular project is Ministry of Water and Environment and Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry, and Fisheries. And,
Honorable Chair, respectfully, I insist that we are not joint implementers. We are only providing, we are supposed to provide extension services. We are not joint implementers, because if we were joint implementers, we would be able to make some decisions and give some advice. But we are not able to do this. Thank you, sir.
Yes, maybe.
I am not blaming anybody, sir. I'm just stating facts. I'm not blaming anybody. I know it's something outside this meeting probably that we may need. And to their credit, Minister of what this issue has come up, the Vice President has been involved in resolving it. The Prime Minister, the Ministers of Finance are involved, including Honorable Musasizi. It is an issue which we feel strongly about, very, very strongly about, and we are in the process of resolving it. Thank you, sir.
Maybe PS, you could speak to the Agriculture Smart project and conclude on the performance of loans in your sector.
Again, sir, the Agriculture Climate Smart project became effective on the effectiveness conditions were fulfilled on the 25th of June last year. It came online, the first disbursement were in November, I think November 24th. And the actual money to receive money to our accounts was in the first quarter, in the third quarter of this last financial year. So actually the project has been online for about 7 months now. And I can tell you within the ambits of the processes that I've learned now of the government of Uganda, I think they're doing fairly well. We are trying as much as possible to make them run very quickly, but some of these are issues which we create ourselves, which are very necessary, but they cause other ripple effects. If we had time, I would give you the information about others. But thank you, sir.
Honorable members, it's over to you. Honorable Byanyima.
Thank you, Chair and colleagues. It hurts me to continue sitting here, approving loans, one after the other, but what they call implementation is not there. And I was just so happy when Major General, went to agriculture. I know he would move things. But I'm sorry, I think he has that bureaucracy red tape of civil service must be holding his hands. Because we cannot continue operating like this. These loans are really very, very useful to our people. But they don't take off. When you ask questions, There is no good answer that is given. Recently, I went and visited the man in charge of Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Umar. What he told me, you cannot believe it. Their loans have no, they will not ask for commitment fees, not until the money has. Others, the commitment fees is always there. We are paying the money. And what kills all this is because of that red tape. These civil servants here, they are good people, very knowledgeable. You remember how they killed us with Umeme? You remember? How they said there was no money for paying Umeme? Why did it come in 2 weeks' time? And they paid it. Now we no longer have Umeme. The same thing with this particular issue. These loans are meant to benefit our people, and we are part of that group. But when they continue dragging on, you know, like you are talking of the percentages, there was, by the time you came in, there were roll chokes, where you punish people and they refuse to pay them because of the non-performance. People are really rioting. I don't know how you end it. So the same thing with these loans. Kindly let's change. Let's open a fresh page for each other and have these loans being implemented. If the money has been given, we have approved, let the money go to do the work. Possibly, the most important work would be supervision. Yesterday, you saw what I was talking on the floor of the Parliament. I said, not until you have got a regulatory body to regulate the road sector, you will not have these roads done or lasting for long. Because you cannot be a person giving the jobs, supervising, you cannot. There must be somebody somewhere to regulate, to see the standards. So, me, I'm happy that Major General is there. You have a hope. And you have very many efficient ministers, by the way. I don't know why you are saying 2 ministers are out of the country. You have a number of them. Some of them cannot be able to articulate things here. They cannot. They cannot. They are indeed fishermen. But what I'm saying is really that let's open a fresh page. And Honorable Msasi is always really pain-free, defending everybody on the floor of the Parliament. For how long can we continue doing this? This country needs to move. We have one person walking on the road. That's the president. But the rest of us really have to be condemned. And here we are. I am sorry for this, but I think we better put up and do something better. I thank you.
Honorable Alex.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry I came in late, but I was interested in this loan in particular. One, I want to thank the Minister for doing what he has done. This is one of the key result areas in our economy, and I think we should all support this loan. This loan is feasible. I think it is also very critical in most of the areas that I have seen here, where I think also part of them, and I want to appreciate that. But you see, there's what they call stampeding, Mr. Honorable Minister. That's why I interjected when you read the presidency presentation. That was about 1 year, 3 months ago, when he cleared this loan. Parliament has been, now of course there have been, of course, here and there, but honestly, such an important loan, with very soft terms and conditions. Good, actually, compared to what we were looking at yesterday in this very committee. It is very good, it's acceptable. Why do you stampede Parliament? We needed to look at some of these sordid details, like the chairman talked about. The unit costs. Can you imagine, Honorable Minister, yesterday we were looking at a loan, rehabilitation and construction of this, which hospital? Bugiri Hospital. And you know what? They were saying they want 2 billion for seminars and workshops. Rehabilitation of a hospital. To launch a hospital, to launch that project, they wanted 2 billion to build a guard house. A guard house, as you know, as you enter the hospital, as you a generator house. This man is looking for 200 million Uganda. I said, now for goodness sake. But this one, I think, is good, only that we are being stampeded. we may not have enough time to look at some of those solid details. So if only you could provide them, maybe today, tomorrow, and we provide you with their own on Tuesday, as has been directed by the Speaker, I'll be very, very happy with it. But also, I saw some. I went to Namalere. I was allocated a hand-driven small tractor for my community. I went to collect it. I found really heavy-duty machinery to do exactly what you're talking about. It was about 3 years old there. It had never moved an inch from there. It was gathering a lot of grass. Those people, any one of these members who has been there, can attest to this. Namarere, brand new machinery, first class. Now you want more. I want members to interest yourselves in going down there very quickly. We will find out if those machines are still there. We should be able to cancel some of these issues out. This duplication, this bleeding of the economy should not be allowed to continue unchecked. It's unfortunate, but some of us, honestly, we feel bad about our country. These are machines, all of you must have seen it, Bwana PS. Imported from over Italy, very good machinery. Earth moving, drilling for water, collection of water points and water, dumped there, brand new. They have never tested any Ugandan soil. So I think because we don't have enough time, a lot of time, to scrutinize some of these loans, like the way I started with stampeding. Honorable Minister, I want you to, we trust you, we love the way you do your work. We can't be seen opposing what you bring to us. But if it was somebody else, maybe some of us would have stood up and said no. But we know you have a good, your intentions are good. But some of these other people, their intentions are not good at all.
Thank you, Honorable Byanyima. I think Honorable Byanyima, Honorable Alex has raised a number of issues. It shows that if IGAD had not written to the ministry, this loan was going to be cancelled. So I think the ministry is not tracking their loans that are. So there is also need for Ministry of Finance and Agriculture or the pre-implementing agencies to track which loans are almost getting first off before they are signed. Can I take over this role, Honorable Olem, and let's continue like this.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I really thank the ministry and the implementing ministry, that's agriculture. Chairman, I think the loan has come, and I don't know why these people were delaying, either because Karamaja is part of the beneficiary, because I'm seeing here now, I'm the happiest person, because I see you're almost covering the entire Karamaja, because we always see loans coming and bypassing us, Karamaja. But today, I'm seeing Karamaja is inclusive. Chairman, I go to employment issue. On the background from the ministry, the minister, he said create employment. I hope, Honorable Minister, my concern is, I hope we shall also be inclusive in the employment. Because we were not there when Uganda started, but now we are there. The Karamajongs have arrived to Kampala, and they have arrived to those universities, and they have enough. And I know some of them have already there in the ministry, so I hope you remember Karamajongs when they come for the interview. I thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Tebandeke.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, my first comment is on about time. I don't see why we should always not consider time as a best factor of production. Where we do things on a rush, because time is not there, and always time is available and incumbent on us, the users, then it is sitting on job. Honorable Chair, I would seek this committee not to work on a rush and pass this loan on a quicker request, but in consideration with the due guidelines given, so that we process it as a requirement of the rules of procedure. Chair, I have a number of questions on policy proposals, and I'm convinced these proposals came from Ministry, who suggested them to the President. Then the President gave them a go-ahead. I would like to be very clear and specific so that the public does not look at me as if I'm attacking the President, but I'm attacking issues. Honorable Chair, on proposal number 3, agriculture mechanization and irrigation, I'm on the annexed document of the letter from the President. It outlined out 18 zones and availed to us information that 5 of them, they are properly equipped and with mechanized equipments. Honorable Chair, this is working under suspicion. I requested the committee to get ample time and visit these zones, examine the reality by observation on the equipments in these zones and the usage. They might be there when they are already out of use, but when you are quoting data to ascertain for the future on non-usable equipments, I hope that is clear, and the PS will notify us and the Chair will come to my rescue. Honorable Chair, in the President's write-up, if I'm extract a statement in the second paragraph in between, he said, I don't want to see irrigation scheme producing low-value crops like maize. Today, Uganda is exporting vegetables to Europe and the Arab world. I hear that the vegetables exporters and so blah blah. Honorable Chair, is it relevant for this committee to interact with the first identifiable stakeholders, the vegetable exporters, so that we learn from them how lucrative the business is, how does it work out, the market value, effectiveness on even how others can adapt the same to admire growing vegetables vis-a-vis maize as the lucrative commodity on the European market. Because as we're extracting the loan, it is incumbent on also benefiting the vegetable growers who are quoted within the content. Is it relevant that we interact with them? Honorable Chair, I want to learn a simple example from Zambia. They only operate on maize as a cash crop and food crop. But what the government does is to create a market for the maize during the time of harvest, stock, and add value, even supply to the community. And the maize has worked out. And for us here, we have the maize, and in our content, we are underrating the maize in favor of vegetables, of which the public is not aware of it. So is it reliably important to interact with those people? And Chair, it will be to my happiness to see that being carried out. Honorable Chair, we have carried out a number of oversights to these irrigation water facilities. I want to bear your example and the committee when you went to Buvuma, where a facility costed worth 600 millions, if I remember properly, and the output is 0, and Ugandans are still suffering with paying the loan. Is it prudent enough that we do thorough other oversight? If not, the sector, the ministry, hosts us to those relevant irrigation facilities that have worked out before we recommend for another new loan, so that we are straightforward on a point in order to avoid wastage of money, time, and incurring Ugandans into loan burden in the future, including migrants and grants. Honorable Chair, furthermore, on policy number 5, partnership with large-scale owners of land as one of the targeted stakeholders to benefit from this loan. Paragraph 2 in the President's write-up, the ministry guided him that even banks, financial institutions, have left out giving loans to such stakeholders because of the number of hazards incurred in their dealings. Chair, committee and the public, I would like to know, has the ministry created alternatives to solve out such hazards, so that if we incur ourselves into getting this loan and equip those stakeholders, such hazards which the banks as financial lending institutions have failed, for us we shall come in as Samaritan and on a good side and advantage. So what has ministry done to curb out such hazards that will convince this committee to recommend this loan to those specific beneficiaries, that the loan will not go begging? Lastly, I want to introduce you to policy policy proposal number 5 in the President's write-up of the partnership with large land owners. So in the write-up, you convinced the President that these owners of land on large scales have not benefited from the banking institutions in terms of loans, because the banks have run away in fear of the hazards encumbered into their businesses. Now for us as a government, we are coming in to borrow for them. So my worry is, as a government and ministry, have you created alternatives to curb or reduce on these hazards which have scared out other banking institutions to issue out loans to such stakeholders, so that you're also convinced and stand firm to support in these loans? Lastly is on the intervention on the fishing sub-sector. Honorable Chair, the data quoted in here in the write-up emulates from 2017 to 2019, and it is instigating us as a basis to recommend a loan for the current statistics which we don't have. And the previous data shows there was an increment in the fish catch from 2017 to 2019. What is the current state of the fish catch? Because this loan is not going to benefit business in 2017 and 2019, but rather 2025 and so on. The status of the fish catch has reduced, Mr. PS, due to illegalities on the fishing water bodies, including the operation of the UPDF, which have gone backward than the expectations. So are we proceeding fairly to quote the data, which I'm getting tempted to say is outdated, as a basis to recommend a loan for the current and for the future? Then I would also like to know the extent to which aquaculture, as a basis quoted in as one of the stakeholders, has impacted the fishing sector ever since it started operating. How many have benefited? How many have you enrolled? What is the state of output from aquaculture? And definitely the quantity and volume, then quality, has it improved and to which extent? Lastly, and the last of the last, Honorable Chair, on the issue of growing
Honorable
vegetables,
should-
yes,
should
Honorable
be
Chair, I'm
winding
winding
up,
up. I know I'm touching where the pain is, but kindly bear with me. On the issue of growing vegetables, I would like to know if Ministry has carried out enough research of how much quantity of vegetable is grown over which piece of land, and has carried out thorough sampling to quantify our soil quality vis-a-vis the production of vegetables, and if had been alternated with any other crop grown over the same land, what would be the output? Draw for us the relative comparison so that we can decide effectively on helping our country moving forward. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Before I even talk about what mainly I wanted to talk, I looked into the list of the districts and I see Kalaki is out. Even when you added the other districts, Kalaki is still left out. I am the pioneer member of Parliament, and I hope you have not forgotten that it is one of the districts in this country. So kindly, I request, unless there is a reason why it is left out, you can let us know. But if it was accidental, let's capture it. I said that first so that I do not sound like I am
Kalaki used to be part of Kaberemaido, and considering Kaberemaido and leaving out Kalaki is
Honorable Chair, Kalaki is not part of Kaberemaido.
I'm saying, I'm
It
helping
used to
you
be.
out.
Oh, okay, Chair.
It used to be, now getting, singling out Kaberemaido and leaving out Kalaki is unfair, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, my main concern, Chair, and the Honorable Minister, is yes, the loan is good. And the other main concern would be on the impact. But the challenge that I see as a person is on the repayment plan. As I speak, Honorable Chair, we have a number of loans that are on our tables. Others we are already processing, others I know are yet to come. And with the pressure that this loan has come with, one, we have not been given enough time to go through it. And then secondly, listening to the Honorable Minister and also listening to you, Chair, it sounds like why we are pushing so much for this loan is because it's at our disposal. But you will allow me speak in a layman's language, because I am one. I'm not very technical in some of these things. In a family, we have, I want to take it like this is a family. We have overwhelming demands that keep coming. The challenges that we have, much as this is one of the challenges, I do not think with the loan, the debt burden that we have as a nation, I do not think that we should rush into getting a loan just because it is expiring. We need to look at several factors before we say we need this loan. Yes, it is very important, but looking at all the challenges that we have in this nation, must we go for this loan just because it is expiring? I'm talking about this mainly looking at the debt burden that we already have at our disposal, Chair. And I think just having that, allow me submit that as it is. I think we need to reconsider, which I do not know whether that is possible, but we need to have a reliable reason why we want a loan and not just because it is expiring. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, like I told you that there was a letter of agency that was written by IGAD. And in that letter, it's unfortunate that we have not gone through, all of us have not gone through that letter. But that letter has implications. And The implications for cancelling that letter would mean that Uganda would lose out a lot. Would lose out a lot. Actually, one of it is that Uganda will lose out. First of all, we shall lose out the 99 million. And when you look at this loan, it's very concessional. Secondly, we shall lose out in the additional funding on a number of projects, like even the national oil palm project. We shall lose out about 100 million US dollars funding. We shall lose out on additional funding on climate fund, on some climate aspects. So the number of projects, and also we shall lose out in the IGAD, in the next cycle of IGAD's program allocation. So we shall not be there as a country. So that's why we need this loan, so that we are able to access. So much as there are mistakes, but we really, as a country, feel we need it, so that we don't lose out as a country. So.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you are communicating as if it is for free, as if it is not for refund. Because, Chair, I also foresee always that whenever we come towards the end of the term of Parliament, many loans come in, as we also get busy with the campaigns. It's also one of the tricks I've always observed, because I'm 9 years old in this Parliament. Chair, I just want to raise a concern concerning the duplication of projects, of activities, because I want to give an example of Nakonyan Dam in Moroto and Amudat districts, where the two ministries were implementing one project. They were claiming for one project, accounting for one project. And that project failed. Because Minister of Agriculture, together with the Minister of Water, doing the same work, but with different budgets and accounting for the same. The other issue is about diversionary, diverting resources normally. Because I remember some time back there were tractors procured for Karamoja, but they were diverted to other regions. We approved 70 billion shillings to procure tractors for Karamoja. When it reaches the time of procurement, they say these tractors were for entire region. And then they took few to the other place in Moroto, in Belatuk Kolo. There's that research institute in Moroto. So the issue of diversion, because even me, I got a tractor for Morungole sub-county, but it was also diverted. I went to the ministry, they assured me this is your tractor, you are going to get for your sub-county. But during the time of distribution of the tractors, I saw the ministers, I saw so many powerful people were the ones who were getting the tractors and leaving the vulnerable people out. So when we approve these loans, we approve with a lot of doubts. Because once a loan passes, it becomes another nightmare. So I also saw on the front page 99.56 million shillings. But when you go to page 10, the loan, I see 99.57 million. Because I also need the explanation on that, because it has increased by 0.01%. On page 10, 4.41, just check there. Because on the front page, it is 99.56. That's the actual loan. But when you go to page 10, it increases by some points. And then we are talking about the cancellation of the loan. Because everything must be formal. When it's communicated, it should be written down. It should be formally. So that you would also lay that document there before the committee, that this is the communication in case we don't hurry up with the loan. Then the other issue is about the tentative interest. Why tentative? Why not actual? The 5.35%. Because you have put it tentatively, but instead of putting as actual. Then the other issue is about the issue of dams, valley dams and others. Because you are going to procure these heavy health equipments. But also you should indicate specific areas. Because when you go to Karamoja, we have been seeing for dams. And we don't know when the dams. When you go to Singiro, is one of the worst places. Then the issue of disease control. I've been seeing so many substandard drugs in the market. So many people are getting sick after eating meat, after taking milk. You see a lot of people having a lot of brucellosis, and also animals getting a lot of diseases. Then the issue of pastoralism law. We don't have pastoralism law in Uganda. If it is there, it's not active enough. And then we also have like agricultural fund. The UDB also supports most of the farmers. Then also the president has been talking about the 4-acre model. Is it part of this loan also? I thank you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Johnson.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself, because you're the only member who didn't introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is called Okot John Amos, Member of Parliament from Agago North County. And not designated to this committee, but you know our rules. You can sit in a committee and represent the people as well. Mr. Chairman, thank you. I want to associate myself with many of the comments my colleagues has narrated, especially on the borrowing period, the loan absorptions, how maybe this one, the ministry, if they can list them out, what are those loans MAIF is having which are active, and those ones which are not very active, and number two, the grants which are also very active, and the level of their performance. It may not be now, but I think even the lifespan of those, the grants and the loans in regarding those things, I want to associate myself to them. Then number two, Mr. Chairman, I have seen the number of districts, the 50-something districts, which are supposed to benefit from this loan. The UBOS report, the recent UBOS report, indicated that there's a tremendous increase of livestock in northern Uganda, which is good to our people. But Acholi region, when you see the number of the district indicated, Acholi region has been left out completely. I have not seen even any one district in it. I've seen Lao, Karamoja, West Nile, about only 2 districts, that is Jumbe and Arua. And we border Karamoja. My district in bordering Karamoja. Karamoja has been covered, which is not bad. However, I think if there's room for adjustment there, so that you bring in actually sub-region also in. Mr. Chairman, of the 99.56 million US dollars, about 59.8, it is just to enhance, it is in component 1. In the component 1, that is increased productivity and resilience and reducing those things. This is the biggest percentage. But when you consider the component indeed, those components, I don't know, these technical people of ours, we borrow for 50 years. We borrow, including the grace period, 10 years, 60 years. And then you are saying we are borrowing to enhance extension services, to enhance access to veterinary, to talk about feeding, water for animals. I think some of these things, when you consider time period, then it touches some of us. Because borrowing, yes, it is good. We may be having that kind of condition that we have to borrow. If we don't borrow, then we shall lose out from that. Why don't we argue it out? Because you borrow for water, something that is long-lasting, and you see, by that time, all of us will not be there, and the people who will not even see the outcome of the loan, the result of the impact. You have to think and help Ugandans. Otherwise, it doesn't echo well. We have this, just like Honorable said, ACF, but about 31 million US dollars has been put into a component of supporting those smallholders farmers. About 31 million US dollars to support the component to enhance access to markets for smallholders, producers, and investment in the value chain. Well, but consider what we have on the ground. We have ACF, Agricultural Credit Facility. Have you taken time to see how it has benefited the people? Can it not be a moderate thing for us as the country to go and borrow just a lump sum amount of money? And yet even we have not helped our smallholders farmers to access this money. Because it is upon the mandate of the technical people to help these farmers so that they can access this money. We would have not gone to borrow just a huge amount of money that leaves the burden to many people. So, Mr. Chairman, we have the mandate. We can argue it out. We cannot say that if we don't approve this loan, then you are going to lose out with what you have been narrating. Then why are we there? Why is the technical people there? Where is the finance there? Can they not sit down and talk about it, explain such kind of this thing? And if not so, then we are not going to do things accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amos. Let me finish up with Honorable Nandutu, then I come back to Honorable Moding Emma.
Thank you, Chair. My concern is on the number of districts that are going to benefit from this project. The Minister mentioned earlier that he's expecting questions about the districts that are benefiting. And if he knew that before, then he should have sorted it at the ministry level that the district reflected here do not, there is no national balance at all, Mr. Chairman. The entire Elgon region is not mentioned here. If I can count for you the number of the districts that we have in Elgon region. Elgon region covers both Sebei and Bugisu. Do you want to say that in Bugisu we do not have cows? If I can give you information, Mr. Chairman and the Minister, nobody beats Bududa in zero grazing for both meat and milk. If you want a testimony, go and ask the President. When he visited Bududa, he purchased some bulls to go and enhance his breeds in his farm. So I demand, if I'm not demanding, I request that at least pick some districts from Elgon sub-region to benefit from this project. We cannot keep passing loans. Loans for roads, Bududa is not there. Loans for agriculture, Bududa is not mentioned. So, Minister, please, adjust the list and put one of the districts, and preferably Bududa's district, which is an expert in zero grazing for both beef and dairy. Mr. Chair, about the hiring, the stampede that the Honorable talked about, are they giving us this loan or we needed it? And if we needed it, couldn't we plan in time? Like, they have given us a number of documents that we are supposed to go through, and the loan has to go through on Tuesday. What time are we going to take to scrutinize those papers? Like Honorable from IC has said, is it a trick for the ministry, for the civil service to stampede Parliament with the time that we pass loans that we don't know? And they are slipping in things that we shall not be able to read? I think the loan is good for the development of the country, for the socio-economic development of the country. But I think we should be considering time and give Parliament time to scrutinize these loans and see whether they are going to the right use. It is not the first time they are hiring us with loans, Mr. Chairman. I think it has become a habit now that there is no time. The Committee of National Economy sit and go through this loan. We want it on the floor of Parliament by next week. We shall not continue like this. We shall not be here when Ugandans are paying for this. They are going to pay heavily. You see? Lastly, Mr. Chair, on Afande talked about he was disowning some programs, they don't belong to agriculture, and they mentioned that this matter has been handled by the Vice President, by the Prime Minister, but the rivalry between the Ministry of Agriculture and Water is still persisting. And the fight on water is intense, if you don't know, Mr. Chair. I think there is time for Parliament to sort this matter out. Otherwise, it is affecting a number of projects. The Minister of Water says we are experts for water, for production. Minister of Agriculture says it's water for production. The production belongs in the Ministry of Agriculture. For how long shall this rivalry continue? If the Vice President and the Prime Minister have failed to bring these people together, to work together and separate the powers, let Parliament come in and help them, because it is affecting a number of projects in the country. I will give an example. There is a water project in Moroto. It is at a standstill because of this rivalry. And we shall not continue like this. I beg to submit, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. But
Thank
please,
you, Honorable.
Mr. Chairman and Minister, let Bududa be the last on the list.
The Minister, the PS, and the project coordinator will respond to that. And I believe they will respond positively. Honorable Emma.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is not much, but yes, the loan is okay, but I want to raise issues according to research stations. I am from Serere and represent the people of Serere County. And we have got a research center there, which I believe was once a place where everybody looked towards to go and study and do research regarding agriculture and all that. But these places have been left completely. They are dying. And yet these are the places who could go and do all the researches we need to do. And even send farmers there to learn issues of agriculture. And also it was a place where we could improve on crops for the farmers. But today, when we talk about these research centers, they are totally dead. They are suffering, and we are talking of buying tractors, of which some of these tractors, we even don't see them in our constituencies. Some of them end up in the hands of individuals. Why can't, if we procure these equipments, why don't they go to these research centers to help the farmers? In fact, I'm ashamed to say that we still use oxen to plow. Yet, we are buying tractors, and the local farmer cannot even access these equipments. My kind request is that let us help these research centers. The people are doing badly off. Even the staff who are living there, in fact, I went there was no power. So I am imagining how are they doing research and keeping those things without power. Please, if it is possible, instead of procuring these equipments, let us improve on these research centers and bring them back to glory. Thank you very much.
I think that now goes with maybe the minister will need to specify on the sub-region artificial insemination centers, because we're only seeing the number we're seeing the numbers. Where are we? Where are the locations for these centers? Maybe Serere could be one of them, because I'm seeing 4 sub-region artificial insemination centers to be constructed under this project. Maybe the ministry will respond to that. Honorable Minister, I think members have raised a number of issues. Maybe for now, we want to give an opportunity to the minister and the technical team to respond to what members have raised, and then thereafter, maybe if there are other issues members will want to raise, we shall raise, so that we are able to, we are left with a few minutes to the House. So, honorable members, honorable minister, it's over to you to respond to the issues raised. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank colleagues for raising a number of issues from my presentation. Mr. Chair, the PS Agriculture will go into detail. However, not long ago, we passed a project called Climate Smart, and it covered a number of districts, including my district where I come from, called Rwanda. Now in this project, if you notice, those districts where Climate Smart is going to be implemented are not included in this project. And that explains why Ududa is not here. It explains why a number of districts in Acholi are not here, and many others. Yes.
Actually, sub-region, no district has
Can
been
you confirm whether, are you aware there is a project called Climate Smart?
Well,
Call
through
your
you,
cow.
the chair, it is not
If-
a matter of arguments, but I think we did let us do the needful to allow people.
Mr. Chair, I have to declare my interest. My next home out of Chigezi is Acholi. I have a strong passion for that place. That's why I want Honorable Court John Amos, because I lived there in my founding years. So I want you to confirm, call one cow and confirm whether he has Climate Smart. If he says yes, then we win. If he says no, then we get a solution. Mm-hmm. So that's something, PS, if that is the case, then we need to discuss.
Maybe,
politically.
Honorable Minister.
Especially for members in the National Economic Committee. Yes.
That's what exactly I wanted to say. That maybe Honorable Minister and the Honorable Minister and the coordinator of the project, we could single out some of the members, and also who can, and also have their districts included to benefit from this. And then secondly, maybe on the other side is.
Mr. Chairman, as you finalize the report, we shall ensure that some of those aspects are taken care of and included in the annex. The second issue for me to respond to is from my friend, he has gone, Honorable Hilary Rokwang. He's saying that around this time, when the term of Parliament is about to end, we bring many loans. Mr. Chairman, I have been around this place by the grace of God for some time, and together with Honorable Rolem in this committee. Mr. Chair, why you see like loan is coming now, you know that we missed June, we missed July, we missed August. So all the work which we should have done in that period is coming now. I know November we shall be away, and December. You are likely to see more work also coming around January when we have returned from elections. But to state that, Mr. Chair, there is no loan that is coming within this period which is not aligned to the budget. We are bringing these loans to finance the budget, which we approved for financial year 2025-6, and also in the medium term framework. So there is nothing that should bias us or that is coming outside the normal. It's because of the season that sometimes we lose a month or two because of campaign. He also raised the question on tentative interest rate. Mr. Chair, if you look at the table, there is a market rate of 4.4, which is already predetermined, like a base. And then other things keep varying. That's why we call it tentative. If this 0.94 comes to, let's say, 0.7, the rate will come down. If it increases, the rate will go up. It keeps fluctuating because of that. Then, Karachi, Honorable, Jennifer is concerned that you are concerned about, first of all, your district. We are going to answer that. We are going to discuss, but also you are concerned that with the debt burden status, do we need to continue borrowing? This is what I noted. That's your concern. Yes, it is true our debt is now in excess of it is 116 trillion to date. But as at 2024, it was around 94. But nonetheless, it is true we have borrowed in the recent times for obvious reasons, but our debt remains sustainable, both now and in the medium term. So this should not be your major worry. Your major worry should be, what are we borrowing for? At what cost are we borrowing at? And how are these loans being used? This should be the worry. But to say there is a burden and we should stop borrowing, that one is not attainable, because we must continue financing the budget. We have the revenue from the taxes, we have the loans, and also grants. So borrowing, Honorable Jen, is normal. It is normal for any public setting to continue. Even America borrows. Actually, it overborrows than us. There is no country in the world that does not borrow. When you look at the financing structure, there is always a component of debt and revenue in the financing structure of government. So I want you to get concerned about where this money is going. Like now we are going to approve, if you approve, this money is going to be given to this general here. So he's a custodian. So he's going to provide stewardship over this money. Now you as a parliamentarian, your eyes should remain there to see whether he's using it for the intended purpose, whether he's using it to achieve the aspirations of our people as we set them in our project document. So next question is coming from, I think Tebandeke, I have answered you together with Honorable Jen. I think the rest are, Muhumuza, do you have something to add before we go in, some agriculture. I am trying to pick out the financial aspects.
Maybe the question on why we have delayed to present this project.
Why have we delayed to present this loan? And yet the board approved it in September. The board approved it in September. The PS here will tell you more about it, but I know Cabinet approved it not long ago, And as soon as the cabinet finished, I started moving. At an earliest opportunity when Parliament resumed, at least yesterday, I was able to lay it. And I want to thank you today you are here. And hopefully on Tuesday, we shall be back to Parliament. But Mr. Chairman, to note is that we are also concerned as Minister of Finance that these processes should be handled smoothly. Because when you say under Article 159 that Parliament shall approve, approval by Parliament is after scrutiny. And this scrutiny should be given time. Yes, I am also a bit concerned, and those charged with the responsibility of giving me what to bring to Parliament should take note that in future we should give these processes due process. I know the rules of procedure provide for 45 days, so we should be able to work within that framework. So, Mr. Chair, I want to apologize for this on behalf of this Mnyachigezi, that next time he will not delay to give me information I need in order to move with these loans. Thank you.
Chair, with your permission, there are one or two issues which I could clarify, sir. I request to clarify about vegetables first, because it's a very interesting issue. Sir, maybe I need to tell you that the global market, the global value of the market for vegetables is $714.2 billion US dollars, which will grow to US dollars 921 billion, almost $1 trillion. While the global market for maize currently is $297 billion. So if that is point one. But point two, sir, that the average yield for maize in Uganda is less than 1 ton per acre. Now, if you are telling people to grow maize under irrigation on 1 acre, at the average size of a farm in Uganda is 0.6 hectares, meaning 1.2, 1.3 acres. So if you are telling people, and on top of that, sir, 70% of all the farms in Uganda are that size. So if you are telling people to grow maize under irrigation, you are actually losing money. You are going to lose money. And I want to publicly tell our people that this is not a good way to go. Vegetables, including tomatoes, including carrots, including onions, very high, especially, if I may speak in a local language. Bwolima nyanya n'obutungulu mu biseera eby'omusana ng'okozesa amazzi agafukirire. Thank you, sir. If you use, because I'm an extension worker, if you use irrigation to cultivate tomatoes and onions off-season, you'll get a lot of money. I can tell you, sir, personally, I bought a car out of an acre of tomatoes, personally. So I really would suggest grow tomatoes off-season. You'll make a lot of money. And I can tell you, sir, again, we are importing tomatoes and carrots. We don't have enough from Kenya. Madam, I found a doctor there, will confirm. So not to tell our people to grow these things, really, and to ridicule it, I think with the greatest of respect, I think we are not showing our people the right way, especially given the size of the land that we have. Now, the other point, sir, that I want to tell you is that I hear you about the use of agricultural equipment, and I hear you about the problems that are there. But this is not just agricultural equipment. It's also with the government vehicles. It is also with hospitals, with everything. Now, what we have done in agriculture, sir, is to develop, we are developing a policy about how we are going to use this equipment. Now, the equipment in Namalere, Honorable is not around. I wanted to say it's not entirely accurate that there's equipment in Namalere which is lying around. The whole of Uganda has only 15 heavy earth moving equipment, sets of heavy earth equipment, heavy earth moving equipment. 15 excavators are the ones which the ministry owns. And I can tell you, about 45% of all the members in this room have asked me for one, for problems of water. Now, if I was to give, how many members are we here? 15? So if we were to really do the arithmetic, we don't have enough, we need more. Now, the letter from IFAD, we are asking for several. The letter from IFAD has been explained very well by the Honorable. Pastoralism is not a good way to go. Again, the Honorable member who was talking about pastoralism. Pastoralism, our policy actually is to destroy pastoralism. Because, yes, because the population of Uganda is increasing, but our land is not elastic, it's not increasing. The population of cows are increasing, but the land is the same. So you will always have you'll have pastoralist, agriculturalist conflicts if you allow people to move around with cows. Plus, it does not help productivity. A cow requires 40 liters per day. Direct cow requires 40 liters per day. Now, it needs, if you move it around, if you move it, say, 4 or 5 kilometers to look for grass and water, that cow is going to use the energy which it has to make up the deficit. Plus the fact that we are making our country into a desert. So I really request that the leaders support us to change our agricultural system, livestock, away from pastoralism, into farming, into what do they call it, Doctor? Into not zero grazing really, but a mixture, formal ranching. Plus it will help us solve all the problems of land tenure system and all the other problems. Acholi is fully covered under the Climate Smart project. Now, the way we get these project districts is, what is the poorest district? Poverty levels. What is the district where other interventions will not work? What is the district where, if we put the intervention, we are likely to get money? Mama, what you are talking about of paying back. Because really the ultimate aim of all our borrowing should be paying back. So where the district is not in a, of course I feel for you, and what we shall do while we are implementing the project, we shall look at the places where we implement the project and we shall spread to places where we can implement the project. But really, these choices are made by science. And when the science does not indicate that you should put there the project, it's very difficult to put it there. The last point, because there are many things, the last point I request to give you is, it is true, and we apologize for it, that sometimes the management of our projects has not been very good. And I'm speaking in the past sense. I'm not saying is not very good. I'm saying has not been very good. I can tell you that there are some projects, and the main problem is lack of harmony sometimes. The other problem is lack of planning. People don't know how to sequence their plans. People borrow money to build a school before they have acquired the land. Something very silly. Because you will not go to the bank, start to get a mortgage if you don't have a land title for the land that you are going to build that house on. But what we have done, there are three main reforms that we are putting in project management. Reform number one is to stick to this process of scrutiny, to lay ourselves completely open to the scrutiny and to listen to you, the members of parliament and our bosses. Because after all, you are the ones who represent the people of Uganda, and you are the ones who should tell us what to do. So I can tell you I have been making notes, copious notes here. everything you have told me is going to be translated into orders and directives to people who are below me. So that one we shall solve. The second point is all the project managers now, I give them 1-year contracts to keep them on their toes. And I give them, we decide on what the targets, performance targets. We decide on what they are supposed to do when. And if you have not, and it's not a decision made by myself. Actually, the decision to renew your contract will come from something called the Human Resource Committee. So if you fail, your peers are going to judge you and they're going to refuse. The last point, I know it's a very small one. We've been borrowing money and living very largely as project managers in luxurious offices and buying very luxurious cars. I have banned this. We shall not sit, this project will not sit, will not hire an office. We shall sit under the tent in Maif, and we are going to execute this project under a tent in Maif. And we have cars. We shall not waste money to buy cars, because you cannot borrow money to rent a house. None of you would borrow money to rent a house or to buy a car. It would be very silly. So some of these little things we have done, I think are going to change. But we lay ourselves before you. We welcome the scrutiny and promise that when we come back, you can give us a time. We shall come back here and demonstrate to you that we have improved. Thank you very much, Chair.
Mr. Chairman, a quick one. Mr. Chairman, just a small quick one. Honorable Alex mentioned about the hand-driven tractors that were procured by the Ministry of Agriculture. I found those tractors were purposely procured for mountainous places, because for us we cannot benefit from huge tractors. But as Bugisu and particularly Bududa, we have not received even 100-driven tractor. And I have written to the ministry requesting for them.
Honorable, I've not, you probably wrote to the minister, and I did not get a copy. I wish I had got a copy of that letter. I promise you on behalf of the ministry that we are going to look at it, and I promise you, because you are right, absolutely, we are going to consider putting, because it doesn't make sense not to give you handheld. Actually, I can also tell the committee that there are efforts towards to put that back to hose. I can tell you, ma'am, given the climate problem that we have, if you give people hose, you're going to cause a famine in this country. You'd rather mechanize, because, ma'am, the research we have done is that it takes 4 men 7 days to cultivate an acre of land. And it's very expensive now. And the average rate, I'm sorry to beat you with figures, but the average age of a farmer in Uganda, a peasant farmer, is 55 years. The youth don't want to be there. So if you give horse to the youth, you want them to be sold in Kenya and other places. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister, Honorable, thank you very much, PS. PS, you've really responded to members very well. You talked about the vegetable growing, and you have not, but you also talked about Uganda importing tomatoes, carrots. But I think many Ugandans are running away from growing tomatoes and carrots simply because the chemicals are not, they are not very effective. And the pesticides seem not to be very effective to help out farmers. So farmers have actually landed into losses. That's why I think we end up importing from Kenya, because it seems the Kenyans are. Then the other thing is, you talked about vehicles. I'm seeing there are vehicles, 5 vehicles to be acquired. And you're saying there are no vehicles to be acquired in the law.
These are aspirations. I can tell you the aspirations. We are going to negotiate. Nobody will buy 5 vehicles. Take it from me, sir, that we shall talk. when we get this loan, some of the, you see, sir, let me allay the members' fears. There is a project document which outlines what we are supposed to do and so on. But there's also a PIM which has been laid on here, a PIM, Project Implementation Manual, and there are annual work plans, budgets, annual budgets and work plans. Now it's up to us to decide how, because I can go to him, Minister of Finance, and say, I have 5 vehicles. I don't need to buy 5 vehicles. We shall talk to them, sir.
There's a vehicle for Minister of Finance for monitoring. If you looked at this project.
We shall talk to them, sir. We shall talk to them.
But Mr. Chair, if I can help their funding, I have seen here enhanced extension services and technical support to the farmers. I think those extension servants need vehicles. I think there's need for the purchase of vehicles.
No, I'm just trying to refute what he's saying, that they're not going to buy vehicles. And yet in the document, there are vehicles to be procured. Yes. And honorable members, it's now time for plenary. It's 2:00. And I believe that the minister and the technical team from both Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Agriculture has given us information. We have raised up a number of issues, and I want to thank you so much for whatever you have raised. And I also want to thank the ministries and the technical teams for responding to, and I believe our technical team has also captured a number of issues. In the event that we shall need more information, we have the project coordinator to this project, who's Dr. James Kakungulu, the acting project coordinator. I'm not appointing him PS. I'm just, he's acting. And in the event that we need more information, we shall need a PS. We shall also, PS, please pick our contacts. For Minister of Finance, we shall coordinate with Mr. Muhumuza and his team to avail us with all the data that we need to enrich our report so that we're able to present this to the House on Tuesday. Otherwise, honorable members, I believe there's no more, there's no any other business that we intend to discuss after this. There being no any other business, I want to adjourn. And then I would also request that we give us the costed list of how the breakdown of these costs. Like I would look at component 3. Component 3 has about $8 million US dollars, which is about 27 billion Uganda shillings. You could also help us break down the cost on each of them, so that it actually helps us out when we are. So otherwise, I want to thank you, members, and I therefore adjourn. And then the other thing is, Ministry of Agriculture, we intend very soon to get into the field to look at the physical and financial performance of many of your projects. Actually, this has informed us what we are supposed to do, and we shall be in position we shall write to the ministry when we are ready to get to the field to look at some of these projects under the ministry. Honorable members, I therefore adjourn this meeting until Monday next week, when we are to consider these reports and have them presented to the House on Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Diseases like Mpox can catch anyone, and when treated by qualified health workers, patients fully recover.